Good morning, sunshine.
This is gonna be bad.
Want to watch football without the restrictions of blackouts or cable? Check out expressvpn.com to help you get access to all the live games. Sign up today using the link in the description to get 3 free months.
Kia ora. Bull fam, it's the director. Chargers fans, first off, a happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully everybody had the opportunity to celebrate with their loved ones, their families. Yesterday, everybody had a good time, stuff in their faces, exclaiming what they are thankful for. I'm not quite sure how high the Chargers are in terms of things we're grateful for right now as Chargers fans, and ultimately, I don't know how high they're going to climb after this weekend. If you're the kind of person that likes to hit the bottle after a really tough loss and you're not stocked up right now, I might I might make sure I'm prepared for this weekend, because this one's going to be tough, man. I think I'm even going to title this episode "Winter is Coming." Get ready, Ball fam. This is going to be a tough one to watch. I'm still going to be there. I'm sure a lot of you guys are still going to be there. We're going to be live streaming this one. And there's going to be things that we hope to see in this game to give us entertainment as Chargers fans. But I'm not predicting a very successful evening for the Los Angeles Chargers on Sunday Night Football. Hey, man, anything could happen. I've been wrong before. Even in the weird pessimism version of myself, I've been wrong before. But my goodness, it's going to be a crazy one out there on Sunday. If anything, it could be entertaining. I think there's two very good quarterbacks out here. The Chargers offense is starting to pick up steam, but it's the Baltimore Ravens, man. It's going to be a very tough hill to climb if the Chargers have any hope of winning this one. So before we do get started, shout out to the sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. Guys, I'm a big football fan, and there's games like this where I'm like, dude, just maybe we throw down a little bit just to keep our sanity and look forward to something. If Justin Herbert needs 150 yards, awesome. I'm going for that. I think he could do it. If we think Lamar Jackson is going to go for over half a yard, then you guys can take advantage of this. First off, awesome special deal for new customers. And second off, just kind of roll with the flow, man. Fantasy football is one of those last things on a failing season that keeps me sane and entertained in the NFL season. So good luck to everybody out there. Use code DIRECTOR to match your first deposit up to $100. Before we do kick off, hit us up with a like and sub if you do enjoy this Chargers content. Small amount of time you guys take to hit the like, sub, bell notification helps me out a lot. Let's get into it, Bull fam. Lights, camera,
Action.
your Chargers versus Baltimore Ravens. Winter is coming game preview. I know, Bolt fam. We all know, okay? We all know. I got a buddy named Chris. Shout out to you, Chris. Hi, Chris. Hi, the Ravens fan. He's been texting me lately. I haven't answered back. I'm too scared. He says, just a few days away. And he puts that, like, evil emoticon where he just, like, he knows what's about to happen. He knows the pain we're about to go through, and he's excited. I get it, man. If I was a Ravens fan, I'd be looking at this defense and this matchup, licking my lips for Lamar Jackson, stacking some stats for MVP contention. It's going to be a rough one out here. First off, guys, please, let's go over the injury report first, though. If this is something that both Chargers fans and Ravens fans won't like to look at, it's this. We're going to go over it a few times, though, really quickly, because it is important, okay? Who's going to be suiting up for this bloodbath on Sunday? Well, the Chargers might be missing a couple of guys. Sure, there's some names on this list. Keenan Allen, he's getting full practices in, though. I think he'll be okay. Will Clapp, full practice in. Looks like he's going to be okay. The guys to kind of look out for, Gerald Everett with limited practice. Chargers need those tight ends, especially this week. Jalen Guyton with limited practice. And then not practicing is Nick Vannett, the guy who was supposed to come in and help us in terms of blocking from the tight end position. And then maybe JT Woods. Other than that, I think everybody's fine. Okay, I think everybody's fine over here. That's not on IR. Okay, as for the Ravens, this team also a bit snake-bitten. Okay? If there's one thing that Ravens fans will get from me, it's that I understand, man. I get it. Injuries suck, and we see too many of them every single year. The Chargers and the Ravens kind of have that in common. Some big names on this list. Is it Mark Andrews not supposed to be on IR or something? He's not going to play this game. Okay, so no Mark Andrews. You can expect a lot of Isaiah Likely, who's also a very good tight end. So Chargers don't get cut a big break there. One of the bigger storylines of the week for the Ravens, though, has been their wide receivers, who have been pretty banged up. You got Rashad Bateman, you got Odell Beckham Jr., Devin Duvernay, Zay Flowers. They're four best wide receivers, all on the injury report. Luckily for them, they may only be missing Zay Flowers, who actually I did not know just got hit with a DNP on Thursday. This is before we're getting the Friday injury report, by the way. Devin Duvernay should be okay. Rashad Bateman should be okay. I'm thinking Beckham will be all right, but he's gotten limited practices in, so just keep an eye on the wide receivers for the Baltimore Ravens. It's kind of going to be a weird situation for them going in on Sunday. Marlon Humphrey getting in limited. He might not play. Trent Simpson, the new linebacker, he's in concussion protocol, it looks like. Maybe he's out. I don't know. He's not practicing. But there you go. A lot of big names to monitor before kickoff. And ultimately, I think the biggest one, if you're a Chargers fan, watch for whatever's happening with the Ravens wide receivers. Because, again, the Chargers' worst receiving defense in the league. We want to know who's dicing us up this week. So with that, guys, let's jump into our first subject here. And ultimately, guys, I want you guys to go into this game knowing that it's not going to be 100% terrible, okay? There's going to be some fun and some things and entertainment aspects that we can pull from this game, okay? Maybe even some optimism that we could win this game. Who knows? Who knows, okay? I will never say never. I'm very doubtful of it this week, but if we see a version of Justin Herbert that we've seen before in clutch situations, that we've seen before against teams that are overmatched against us, that we've seen before, maybe we have a shot. As long as we have Justin Herbert, we're never truly out of any matchup. And that's our first segment here. Herbert versus the world. Unfortunately, we are living in a world where Sunday night, Justin Herbert will take the field as one of the most successful primetime quarterbacks in the league, particularly in Sunday Night Football. I don't know what it is about it, but Justin Herbert just really knows how to turn it on Sunday Night Football. The last two games, actually, I tried to attend Sunday Night Football games are just kind of easier for travel and all that kind of stuff for me. Last two games I've attended, the Chargers-Bears, obviously, he was crazy in that, and then the Steelers in 2021. Man, was that a crazy game. I think the Chargers dropped like 40 points that game. Justin Herbert is just kind of on fire that way, and I do think that we are catching him at a time where it wouldn't be too far of a stretch to say that he's starting to heat up, right? The Justin Herbert that started the season was banged up. A lot of people, wrote off the finger injury like, oh, he's a professional athlete. He shouldn't be affected by a left finger injury at all. Man, that stuff hurts. It does. You try throwing a football with a toothache, let alone a broken finger. We'll see what the results are. Either way, he's starting to come out of that. He's really coming into that MVP, caliber quarterback Justin Herbert version of himself that we're used to seeing. He's been slinging the rock very effectively, even without the premium receivers that we were hoping to see this season. And he's looking like good old Justin Herbert has made his way back onto the field. So Justin Herbert versus the world. Now here's where the opposition comes in for Justin Herbert. If you're a Chargers fan, like, okay, we're setting the table. Justin might have himself a good day. Maybe it won't be a terrible game for Chargers fans to watch after all. Well, this is why it's versus the world, okay? Justin Herbert's about to go up against one of the best defenses in the league, and it's going to be one of the most dangerous that he's faced so far this year. This segment called the Ravens Lockdown Defense. All right. So to set the table here, first off, I kind of wanted to tell you guys how incredibly good this team is, despite injuries, by the way, in past D, okay? It kind of feels like the Ravens are an alternate universe version of the Chargers where, oh my gosh, they got hit with all these injuries. That sucks, and it's so consistent. It's a curse, yada, yada, yada. But they found a way to succeed despite that. The Chargers, we do get hit with a lot of injuries pretty consistently, but it feels like they just weigh us down to a point where there's no recovering from it. That could be a coaching thing. It really could, where the Ravens were able to rise above it, and the Chargers just continue to stumble and fall. Maybe kind of get close and then fall on their face at the end. Ravens defense is crazy, man. That defensive backcourt, by the way, probably the main point of this segment here. Kyle Hamilton has been going nuts. Marcus Williams has been going nuts. Geno Stone, who I didn't really hear about before this season, he's been going nuts. And Marlon Humphrey on his way back, like, big yikes, y'all. Big yikes. Justin Herbert, who's without Mike Williams, who's without Josh Palmer, who's basically been him and the Keenan Allen show, which is not going to be as easy this week, mind you, is going to have a tough time figuring this one out. This is why versus the world. This is going to be a tough matchup. The Ravens, they boast a top 3 passing defense despite the injuries, and they've been dangerous. They've been real dangerous. And you know what? I talk a lot about this in terms of the strategy I want to go into the season, the way I would construct a roster would support this concept. The biggest reason I think that's the case is because of the Ravens' premium pass rush. You take a primarily zone defense, or I should say man defense, and you throw in the mix 2, 3 maybe premium pass rushers, you're going to look at a very, very nice opportunity for turnovers. You're going to be looking at a very nice opportunity for good passing, because that really does help elevate every level of the defense if you got a really good pass rush. And the Chargers, they have that. It's just, I feel like, I'll keep saying it's their DBs, which haven't been great, but I also feel like the scheme is so bad that it's holding everybody back. The Ravens are opposite. And they also have a lot of good players on their DBs. Their pass rush has been incredible this season. As a matter of fact, both these teams have been incredible in the pass rush. Both are top 5 units when it comes to rushing the passer. The thing is, Baltimore Ravens are number 1, y'all. I think they have 44 sacks on the season. Woo! I know the Chargers are very good, and the Ravens have 10 more than we do on the season so far. As a matter of fact, the Ravens have surpassed us at this point last year, right? Like, this is nuts. I remember the Eagles being a stupid good pass rush last season. The Ravens might be better this year, dudes. Not even kidding. That's how good and scary that they have been. And it's not just 1 or 2. They got a lot of guys on that line that are going nuts. Adafeowe, of course, a lot of us had high expectations for him. He's doing great. But this guy, Justin Matabuike, this dude's been nuts. I think he leads the league with 9.5 sacks, I think. Don't quote me on it. That's the last I heard. 9.5. Ridiculous. But they also got some reinforcements on the outside by the names of Jadeveon Clowney, who's seeing a resurgence in his career. Kind of the version that we were hoping to see when he was drafted by the Texans. And then Kyle Van Noy. Oh, that one stings quite a bit, man. The Chargers had a chance to bring Van Noy back. Of course, we didn't really need to at the time, so I can't really blame him. But Kyle Van Noy's been screaming from the edge this season. He's been looking fantastic. Sacks are us. Officially open. Justin Herbert's going to be running for his life. Now, fortunately, Justin Herbert and the Chargers, I would say even Kellen Moore, they've been wise enough to let Herbert kind of escape the pocket a little bit more, get yards with his feet. I think it's going to be almost a requirement this week to keep the man alive. But it's going to be a tough break, man. Now, fortunately for us, there's 2 sides of this coin, right? The Ravens, the best pass rush defense in the league. The Chargers aren't too far behind. I think they're like 5 or something like that. I know there's a lot of teams that have more games ahead of us right now. Chargers in 10 games have 34. I think the Ravens with 11 have 44. Either way. Chargers are a top 5 unit in that category as well. And historically, we've been not that bad at getting to Lamar Jackson. You know, despite Lamar being able to run all over us, which I do expect that he's going to do, the Chargers have been pretty good at getting to the quarterback. And that's going to open up opportunities for the defense to make some plays. Do I expect the defense to help us win this game? Only by the skin of their teeth in terms of getting the ball back. I think we're capable of generating turnovers. Are we capable of getting stops? Are we capable at limiting the offense to like under 300 yards? I don't think so. I think it's going to be crazy. And the Chargers defense, if they want to pitch in this week, I think it's going to be off the back of turnovers. So keep that in mind. Pass rush for both teams, pretty deadly. It's going to be a tough week for both of these quarterbacks. Now, what about the offense for the Ravens? Well, that's where things get especially scary, dudes. Now, Zay Flowers in this photo, I don't know if he's going to suit up, but they got an offense. Okay, they got an offense. The Ravens have been scoring freaks this season. Now, I knew this week was going to be not so great when I came into my studio to do this video. I was like, man, how are we going to do this? It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I started looking at the metrics, the analytics, the scores, the numbers of the Ravens the last 5 weeks, and it is worse than I thought. Oh my goodness. This Ravens team has put up at least 30 points the last 5 games straight. 30 points. I think a lot of them like 35, 36 points, 31 points. 5 games straight. Oh, as a matter of fact, 102 combined points have been scored by the Baltimore Ravens the last 3 games combined. 102. The Chargers, on the other hand, on the other side of things, continue to be the worst defense in the league on a lot of different categories, mainly passing D. This is not good. This is not good, y'all. The Ravens could quite literally go nuclear this Sunday. We've seen games where the Chargers defense have allowed historic performances from a lot of different players, the quarterbacks especially. Jordan Love for over 300, a career high. He's been crazy, right? This week could be especially bad now that we're going up against an MVP caliber quarterback, dudes. I'm not going to lie. Hold on to your butts, Bull fam. We about to get scored on hard. Mainly by the back of this man here, Lamar Jackson. Again, the MVP candidate. I think that Ravens fans, if you're watching this video, wetting those lips for Lamar Jackson to stack some stats on that MVP candidacy, I think you're about to be very happy. The Chargers defense is going to make Lamar Jackson look like maybe the best quarterback to have ever played in the NFL, period. Forget Tom Brady. This Lamar Jackson's going to the moon, bro. That is going to be very tough to watch. And again, the reason I put this particular image here is because Lamar Jackson, so deadly through the air, I don't think he's even going to need to run on the Chargers. But that's the other thing that's going to hurt the Chargers, even in the passing game even more, is the fact that he can take off. Chargers aren't going to be able to play defense quite as effectively versus the pass if they're always thinking in the back of their brains, oh my God, Lamar could take off for 20 yards right now. Hey, dudes, I'm just telling you, that just brace yourselves, okay? I'm trying to find the optimistic angle here where the Chargers don't get slaughtered quite as bad, or maybe we have a chance to win, but I'm telling you guys right now, just please be prepared for this game. Go in, put your feet up, have a good time, knowing that your expectations have been set to a realistic level of borderline on-screen murder. Okay, it's going to be bad. Keep that in mind. Lamar Jackson's about to go crazy. Now, again, didn't quite see the updated injury report till now. This segment was called QJ Gets His Flowers. Who knows? Maybe it still happens. Maybe Zay Flowers does play this game. And this is one of those things where Chargers fans get a preview of what coulda, woulda, shoulda been. A lot of Chargers fans wanted Zay Flowers over Quinton Johnston. Not to say Quinton couldn't work out. I think certainly that's still a possibility. But right now, when it comes to the rookie campaign, Zay is miles ahead. However, that being said, Quinton Johnston, we are at a point right now, and I feel bad for the guy because he's a rookie. He was thrown into these situations, clearly not ready, which is unfortunate for our draft capital, but it's unfortunate for him, the player, as well. He's gone out and said that he's changing his mentality, blah, 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 blah. He's trying to turn over a new leaf. I'm a new man. Let's go out there. Let's produce. We can hope and pray that that's the case. But ultimately, I think we're kind of at a trial by fire phase with Quinton Johnston at this part. What else are we going to do? I honestly, versus this defensive backcourt, I don't know how open we're going to see Keenan Allen as often this week. That's a top 3 passing defense in the league, y'all. We may need to look to Quinton Johnston a little bit more than we have been. He may not even be open either. Which is especially concerning because Quinton has been very, very bad at coming up with any sort of catch this season. But I think I'm at the point, you guys let me know what you think in the comment section. Are we at the point where it's just time, like trial by fire time, man? Like the ball's coming. You're going to have to make some plays. You're going to have to figure it out. Getting kind of serious out here for Quinton. Speaking of getting serious out here, man, Chargers' run game has been so bad this season, which sucks because that's one of the biggest things I was looking forward to when we brought on Kellen Moore. And how much of it is on Kellen, I don't know. Maybe he could have pushed harder for a different, running back group here. Not to say that Eckler is bad or anything. I just don't think we have the guy right now behind him or even to take his place at some point. I know that Josh Kelly's been pretty good. We don't really know what Isaiah Spiller is anymore. He just doesn't see the field very often. And that Eckler really needs space to operate, and he's not getting it. I don't know if he's going to get it again this week, dudes. I don't. Eckler's the kind of running back when it comes to yards on the ground. He needs some superb zone blocking. He needs to get to the outside. And I just don't think that the Ravens are going to let that happen. Now, where you can get Eckler involved more, like we've talked a lot about, is through the air. Of course, he'll be available underneath a lot more often than most running backs. But lately, he's been dropping a lot of those passes. It's been looking a little bit more awkward for Justin Herbert to rely on that, safety valve a little bit in the flat. It's just bad. I hope that Austin Eckler finds himself some momentum this game and we can get it back on track. But it feels like, unfortunately, it was the season where the wheels start to fall off a little bit. A step behind begins to form. Maybe the Chargers were right not to pay him. That sucks to say, though, because I'm such a big Austin Eckler fan, and I hope he just shakes it off and figures it out, but it's going to be tough out there. That being said, activate Xander Horvath, you cowards! For those of you guys that don't know, the Chargers, when placing Joey Bosa in IR, they went back and got Xander Horvath back on the practice squad. He's out here again, baby. I would assume it's because of what he offers on special teams. I'm sure that they're running low there now that we lost Tanner. We lost a couple of guys back there. But I want to see Xander, dude. I just see so much potential in this guy. I don't know why we haven't seen more of him. I'm sure they know more about his progression than I do. But I've always seen something in Xander, and I hope that he gets involved. If anything, just to please be that answer in short yardage situations. We need it so bad. Just so bad. So finally, last couple of things to mention here, guys. This segment was called Take Your Medicine, and I've been kind of saying this the whole video, so I won't spend too much time on it. But guys, it's going to be a bloodbath out there on Sunday, okay? I will be here throughout the whole thing. I'll be streaming on Sunday like I always do. So we can kumbaya together. We'll figure it out together. Group therapy and director's channel this Sunday. We'll figure it out. All right, but just please go into this game with realistic expectations. I know there's always hope that we can win. I do think that it's still possible because of Justin Herbert mainly, maybe the offense. Never say never, but it just feels like the more I look at this game, the more it feels like it's just going to be a really tough one to watch. So look for the good, okay? There's a flip side to this. Look for the good. Let's see if Herbert can figure some stuff out in terms of continuing that momentum. Give him some more to work with going into next week. Let's see if we can maybe unlock something in Quinton Johnston. Let's see if we can get the run game going a little bit. Don't expect to win, but expect to get a little better. Maybe that's what we should expect this week, okay? And finally, a lot of you guys, I've been already seeing the question in Instagram a lot, actually. Will this game result in a firing for Brandon Staley? It could. Again, I think it should have happened already. I think a lot of NFL talking heads out there are convinced that Brandon Staley should have been left in various cities across the United States that we have played. Most recently, Green Bay in a B&B. It hasn't happened yet. And there have been some reports that maybe indicate that he is not going anywhere until the end of the season, if that. Also keep your expectations in check here. But as I also got to say, man, this could be one of those catastrophic games where it's so bad, where it's so hard to watch as a Chargers fan, that by Monday we might see a change at head coach. There's been a lot of firings lately, guys. There's been a lot of movement. This could be one of those games where it goes so nuclear that the front office has no choice. So about that being said, what's my score prediction for this one? Against other offenses that the Ravens defense has faced, the Chargers score is actually not bad. I got the Chargers putting up 25 points, which again may not seem like a lot, but the Ravens haven't been giving up very many points at all, so that actually does stand out in their schedule. But I got the Chargers at 25, the Ravens at 42. That's where I'm at, dudes. I'm sorry. That's where I'm at. This Ravens team has been putting up 31 plus points every week for the last 5 weeks straight. The Chargers just gave up about that to the Lions not too long ago, and the Ravens offense is so much better. It may be crazy out here, dudes, on Sunday. Keep that in mind, all right? It'll be all right in the end, though, dudes. We'll continue pushing narratives of Brandon Staley and the moving on from him, and we'll do some little bit more extra content getting ready for the offseason. We do that anyway around this time of year, kind of looking towards the new season. And if the Chargers do go, what would it be at this point? 4-7. Chances of the postseason are very low. It wouldn't be impossible, but as always, we'll continue monitoring the season and finding a way to keep Chargers fans together and entertained. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me. This has been The Director. We'll see you on Sunday. Hit us up with a like and sub on your way out if you did enjoy this content. And as always, bolt up, stay frosty. Good luck, Bolt fam. We'll get through this together. All right?